Sherman, Connecticut. To the outside world, it is a sanctuary, defined by its quiet nights and its protected, ink-black skies. But above the tree line, that promise has been broken. Exclusive aerial footage, captured by FAA-licensed drone pilots, now confirms what residents have been reporting for months. The Sherman School has transformed from a community asset into a beacon of negligence. What began as a necessary renovation of our town's most vital asset has spiraled into a cautionary tale of municipal negligence, financial mismanagement, and administrative bullying. We were promised a state-of-the-art facility. We were promised a project that respected the neighborhood. Instead, we got a construction site that seems to operate above the law, and an administration that seems to believe the taxpayers work for them. This is the White Lantern. For months, the school gymnasium has been stripped of its walls and wrapped in translucent plastic. Inside, high-intensity industrial floodlights burn through the night, turning the building into a radiant beacon that blasts glare directly into the bedroom windows of adjacent homes. This isn't just a nuisance. It is a direct violation of the very zoning principles Sherman claims to cherish. Residents have raised concerns about light trespass at this site for years, going back as far as 2020. The response from Town Hall? Silence, or worse, excuses. We were told the lights must remain on for insurance purposes. But when neighbors suggested a simple, low-cost solution, hanging opaque tarps to keep the light inside and the dark outside, the administration refused. Why fix a problem for $200 when you can just ignore the neighbors for free? But the disregard for the neighbors is only a symptom of a deeper rot, a disregard for the asset itself. This project is already the most expensive undertaking in Sherman's history. The original budget wasn't enough. Just last August, the town was forced to go back to the voters, asking for an additional $2.5 million to keep the project afloat. We were told the budget was on a knife's edge. We were told every penny counted. So why, in the dead of winter, with temperatures dropping to 2 degrees and winds howling at 50 miles per hour, was the building left exposed? Protective sheeting ripping off the frame. The interior of a $50 million investment left vulnerable to freezing pipes and water damage. This isn't an accident. This is negligence. And in construction, negligence is expensive. When residents tried to sound the alarm, when they pointed out the blinding lights, the blocked emergency access on Sawmill Road, and the deteriorating site conditions, they weren't thanked. Instead, they were met with a disturbing pivot. According to direct accounts, town officials responded not by fixing the issues, but by issuing a veiled warning about the consequences of reporting them. Residents were told that further reports would likely lead to project delays and cost the taxpayers money. Nothing was explicit. There was no direct order to stop, but the implication was heavy and unmistakable. If neighbors continued to document zoning or safety failures, the administration would craft a narrative that blames them for the rising costs. They didn't say, "Be quiet." They simply implied that your vigilance is expensive and that they intend to make you own the bill. Let that sink in. An administration that botched the budget, that requested an emergency $2.5 million bailout, and that let the roof rip open in the middle of winter, is now setting the stage to scapegoat the very taxpayers who are trying to save the building. A resident pointing out a fire doesn't cause the damage. The fire does. Sherman deserves better. We deserve a project that is managed with competence. We deserve a town that follows its own laws. And we deserve leaders who take responsibility for their mistakes, rather than threatening the neighbors who notice them. The question isn't whether we can afford to fix the lights or secure the tarps. The question is, can we afford an administration that refuses to do either? Reporting for Sherman CT News.